What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, all these kind of emergency stimulus measures that the Biden administration has really done over the last 2 weeks. We've had now three emergency stimulus measures that has been done in the last 3 weeks. One that was just announced last night, and we will be getting more details of today. I will be going over that in this video. This will be affecting over 40 million Americans, and this will be a permanent increase for over 40 million Americans. But we'll be going over that announcement here today, as well as I'll be touching briefly on the other two stimulus provisions or stimulus programs that they have passed here recently, as well as more stimulus programs or stimulus provisions that could be happening in the near future, as well as the next stimulus package, which has been announced by the Democrats at $3.5 trillion, which will be the largest stimulus package ever. Yeah, the third stimulus check package was only $1.9 trillion, and that had the largest stimulus checks in it at $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children, and $1,400 for adult dependents. And it had the $3,000 to $3,000 child tax credits. Those child tax credits end at the end of this year unless they extend that in this next package. They have said that they want to extend the child tax credits in this next package and that they want to do an adult tax credit in this next package. And there's room for pretty much everything in the kitchen sink in this next stimulus package, which will be $3.5 trillion. Now, they're going to negotiate on that package. There's a few Democrats like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. Dun, dun, dun. It's kind of their theme song. Who's saying, they're not sure on $3.5 trillion. They might need their palms greased a little bit. And then, of course, we have other Democrats like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, and a lot of Democrats from the House of Representatives, the Democratic Progressive Caucus, who actually want more. They want more than $3.5 trillion. So we're going to see as they go through the negotiation process. I say the Democrats, just so everybody's on the same page here, because the Democrats they're in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and they're going to pass this next stimulus package, largely called the fourth stimulus package. They're going to pass it without any Republican votes, exactly the same way they passed the third stimulus check package, okay? The third stimulus check package was passed without a single Republican vote. So that third stimulus check and that child tax credit and that over 40 or $50 billion of rent assistance and mortgage assistance and everything that was in the third stimulus check package, that was passed without a single Republican vote. And that's how the next stimulus package is going to be as well. I'm not a Republican or I'm not a Democrat, so I'm not picking sides or anything like that. I'm just kind of letting you know the state of the union, the state of Congress right now. So this next stimulus package is just going to be passed by the Democrats. So that's kind of why I'm letting you know what's going on with Congress, that the Democrats are going to be passing this next package. So with that being said, without further ado, let's jump into this next kind of major announcement. There's been three different stimulus announcements or stimulus provisions that are affecting tens of millions of people, literally done here within the last 2 weeks. They're kind of called stimulus provisions, is kind of the easiest way to say it. They're stimulus provisions that affect tens of millions of people. This last one literally came last night. In fact, the official announcement's going to come today, and here it is. Also, don't forget to hit the like button for us, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. Subscribing is completely free to do so, and remember, I have new videos coming out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to share this channel with your friends and family so that they know about the next stimulus package coming out. Most people don't even know there's another stimulus package coming out, and it's going to be the largest stimulus package yet to date at $3.5 trillion. They want to have free college in there, Medicare, new benefits, more child tax credits and adult tax credit, all sorts of things. Hopefully a fourth stimulus check in there, all sorts of things. So yeah, let's go. Okay, this new stimulus provision just announced last night. The Biden administration approves the largest increase ever to food assistance benefits, also known as the SNAP program, in SNAP program history. As you can see here by this Washington Post post, benefits will rise by 25% on average. An infusion of cash that advocates say better reflect the modern cost of a basic diet. So the SNAP program, also a lot of people refer to it as the food stamp program. There's over 40 million people on this program. Now, this is very significant because one, there's 40 million people on this program. Number two, this is a permanent increase. This is not a temporary increase. Like we've seen that 15% increase from the previous stimulus package. This is not a pandemic increase for like 1 year or anything. This is going to be a permanent increase. Also, this is it's really kind of an emergency stimulus program because Congress is not even passing this. Literally, the Biden administration is just doing this. This is one of the three kind of stimulus provisions that we've seen done here over the last 2 weeks. We'll go over the next two here in just a moment. As I said, this is going to affect over 40 million people that are on this program, and this 25% raise is permanent. Literally will go on forever. So this is going to be a 25% raise every single month forever. And really, the main reason they've done these three different stimulus provisions is because largely most people think is because the pandemic is just getting worse and economic conditions are getting worse. I mean, a month and a half ago, we had only 5 or 10,000 new positive virus cases per day, 5 or 10,000 new people. Now we have over 100,000 new people on average testing positive every day. In some cases, near 200,000 people. And this economic fallout in this pandemic is likely going to take years to recover from this. Years. The 2008 and 2009 recession, the housing crisis, took 4 to 5 years to recover from that. And that was without a virus. And now we thought we were coming out of this, and now we're basically hitting the next wave of this, and over 100,000 people testing positive every day. And then basically the administration is just, and the White House is just in panic mode, and they're like, what can we do to help people right now? And this is with a major stimulus package right on the horizon that the Senate is in the voting process of. So we have this largest stimulus package ever, and they're still trying to get out as much emergency relief as they can, even with the next stimulus package right on the horizon. And honestly, there's going to be a lot more to come. So even if one of these three particular things that wasn't passed in the last like 2 weeks doesn't affect you, there's a lot more coming, especially in this next package, because they're really just trying to get out as much as they can and help out as many people as they can. Because honestly, they can just see that economic conditions are crumbling. 100,000 plus people are testing positive every day, and they're basically in panic mode. As you can see here, the Biden administration has approved the largest increase to food assistance benefit in the history of the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the SNAP program, ever. Again, the Biden administration has approved the largest increase to food assistance benefits to the SNAP program in history. Yeah. I mean, it's the largest increase ever. So again, this will be a lot of money for some people. For some people, it won't be that much money. I'll get to that here in a second. So this will rise an average of 25% above pre-pandemic levels. Okay. First reported by the New York Times and confirmed by a spokesperson at the USDA. Average monthly benefits, which were $121 per person before the pandemic. Okay, there's some pandemic bonuses that are going on right now that will be expiring in the future. They might extend those as well. And some states, from what I understand, some Republican governor states have expired those. We might see some states or even this next stimulus package also continue on pandemic extra benefits as well on top of this extra raise. So again, this extra raise will be a 25% raise above pre-pandemic levels. And this will be a permanent raise from what we understand. We're going to get more details of this later today. 25% permanent raise per person. This is very significant. If you have a very small amount of SNAP benefits, this might not be significant for you. Each person may have a different amount of SNAP benefits. It's based on your income and it varies per state. But over 40 million people have SNAP benefits. So if you only get like $20 a month on SNAP, well, then this won't benefit you very much. Okay, but as you can see here, the average monthly benefits per person is $121 per person before the pandemic bonuses, okay? Which will be $36 per person per month, okay? Per person per month. So let me just break out a calculator here. $36 per person extra per month. So $36 per month per person is an extra $432 per person per year. Because remember, this is a permanent increase, okay? So if you're the average person that gets the average amount of $121 per person, this will be a $432 increase per year, every single year. Okay. Again, I've read some comments of some people say I only get $20 of SNAP benefits. So if you're getting a 25% increase on that, you're only going to get like $60 extra a year. So in that particular case, I mean, $60 is better than nothing, but I understand it's not a lot. I mean, if you found $60 on the ground, you're going to be like, hey, it's my lucky day. I found $60, better than nothing. I mean, it's your lucky day. You found $60, but it's not $432. But the average person is going to receive, based on this article, $432 per year. Now, that's per person. So if you're two people, you're going to receive an extra $864 per year. Again, this is per year, permanent increases. Permanent increases. So if you're a family of four, you're going to receive an additional $1,728 per year for a family of four if you are making the average of $121 per month. Okay, this is based on the averages. I looked up some other information here based on how much the average person gets in popular states. Again, I'm not going to look up all 50 states, but California is the most populated state. The average person in California gets $166 in California. In New York, the maximum amount you can get in New York for one person is $204. For two people is $374. A family of four can actually get $680 for a family of four in New York. Texas is very similar, $204 and $680. I think that's actually the exact same amount. So New York and Texas can actually get the same amount. So for example, a family of four, let's just take a single person here of $204. So $204, you're going to get an increase of, let me see here, 0.25. That's an extra $50 a month. $50 a month times 12 is $612. You basically got a $600 stimulus check from this increase that they just announced today or last night. I think they're actually officially announcing it today. So when we got that second stimulus check of $600, this is pretty much the same thing. You're going to get it $50 per month over the course of the year, but you're going to get it every single year, actually. So this is actually a better announcement for you than the second stimulus check because this is going to be every single year. Now, I am very aware that not every single person gets SNAP benefits. 40 million, a little bit over 40 million people, from what I understand, get SNAP benefits. Low income people get SNAP benefits, and not only Not all low-income people get SNAP benefits. I also understand that some people only get like $20 a month on SNAP benefits. So I'm fully aware of that, and I see your comments. I feel everybody's pain. But remember, I don't pass the laws or anything like that. I am just the messenger. I am just here reporting to you guys what is going on. However, I do like what I'm seeing. I do like what I'm seeing from the administration. And again, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. If it was former President Trump in the administration and he was doing this, I would say the same thing. If it was the Republicans doing this, if it was the Democrats doing it, if it was the independents doing this, I would say the same thing, that they're putting help out for the people. Just last week, we seen this, that they paused the student loan payment pause, again, because they're kind of in emergency mode with basically over 100,000 people testing positive. This has also helped an additional 40 million people. So between the new SNAP benefits and the student loan payment pause, this helped out an additional 40 million people. Now, I understand that you might not have student loans. I don't have student loans either. I don't qualify for SNAP, but I'm still happy for the people that get the SNAP. I'm still happy for the people that paid the student loans. In fact, we paid off my wife's student loans. I'm still rooting for people to get student loan forgiveness, even though we paid off our student loans. I still want to see people get student loan forgiveness because I want to just see as many people from our extended community get as much help as they can, because again, I think a lot of people need a lot of help right now during this pandemic. This is not student loan forgiveness, but this is a student loan payment pause extended until June 31st. All interest is paused. There will be no interest that accrues. There will be no penalties. There will also be um, no negative interest or anything like that. This was for over 40 million people as well. Anybody that has student loans basically through the government. We also seen the CDC extend the federal eviction moratorium. Anybody that's, or 90% of renters, as you can see here, this will go until October 3rd unless a lawsuit strikes it down. This is between 10 to 15 million people that they're helping. These are three stimulus type provisions, whatever you want to call them, that are helping people right now that they literally just passed. This was passed on August 3rd. So that was like 12 or 13 days ago. So all three of these, the eviction moratorium, the student loan payment pause, and the SNAP program permanent extension of 25% increase, the largest increase in the history of the SNAP program ever. What I am very, even if none of these apply to you, what I like to see here is the stimulus provisions that are going on. Okay, stimulus provisions are literally at an all-time high. I mean, all three of these literally just happened within the last 3 weeks. We are literally seeing them passing as much as they can. All three of these were passed without Congress, okay? They did these without even Congress voting on it. This is not even from the stimulus package, okay? So really, if you think about all three of those things are helping almost 100 million people, 40 million people on SNAP, 40 million people that have student loans don't have to make those payments. They don't have interest accruing. They don't have to deal with those payments. They can use that money for anything else, their car payment, their house payment, paying for anything else at all. And 10 to 15 million plus people don't have to worry about being thrown out on the street. That's almost 100 million people between those three. That's like a third of the United States, okay? And there's more to come because the third stimulus check package is being worked on right now, the largest stimulus package yet to date. And that is the things in this right here. Okay, so even if you're not covered by those three stimulus packages or those three stimulus provisions that were just passed in the last 2 weeks, it's a really, really good sign because they're doing it. They're passing. If you just look at the writing on the wall, they literally passed three major stimulus provisions, kind of in emergency mode, even without Congress. So if you just look at the writing on the wall, and I mean, you could let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think there's going to be more stimulus in the next package or less? Because, I mean, it seems like they're doing everything they can to help out the average everyday person, the low and the middle income people right now, while we're kind of in emergency mode, while the pandemic is doing bad, while 100,000 people right now are suffering from testing positive. So, I mean, again, if you think differently, let me know. But I mean, it really does seem like they're trying to help out every different group of people that they can. And I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen, what's going to be in this next stimulus package until they pass it in the House, pass it in the Senate, and President signs it. But it sure does look like they're trying to help as many people as they can and trying to put as much money in people's pocket or delay payments and delay interest and not have people be kicked out on the street as much as possible. And even like with that eviction moratorium, remember there's like 40 or 50 billion dollars in rent and mortgage assistance that goes to the landlord. Okay. So when that rent assistance and mortgage assistance does get paid out, it goes to the landlord. So I know that everybody's like, it's a tough situation because the rent assistance, I get both sides of the situation because the landlords are hurting too. Because a lot of landlords are regular old everyday people. In fact, sometimes they're just retiree people that just have a one person home. But that rent assistance actually goes to the landlord. So if and when they actually get the rent assistance, it goes to the landlord who's, the renter's behind on rent, but they're behind on rent to the landlord. So the landlord actually gets the rent assistance when it actually goes through. So I'm very optimistic about the next stimulus package and all these three stimulus provisions that they just passed. I'm very optimistic about everything on this list. Now, everything on this list is not going to make it, but you can let me know in your thoughts. And really, there's probably going to be more stimulus packages after this. Because truthfully, this pandemic is probably going to go on for a long time. And, now the FDA has just approved booster shots, and we're probably going to see a new variation of the vaccine down the road for the Delta variant. And I mean, honestly, this is probably just going to go on for a long, long time. I mean, in 2008 and 2009, the economic recovery took 4 to 5 years. 4 to 5 years for unemployment to get back to normal. And now we're dealing with basically a worse recession plus a virus. Plus a virus. So don't get me wrong. I'm very sensitive to these, and some of these announcements might not help everybody. I totally get it. But just remember, I am just the messenger, right? If I could announce to you today that they passed the stimulus check, I would love to give you that announcement. But remember, I can only report to you guys what's going on. I like to bring you guys the truth here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bringing to you guys false news. We hope that there's going to be a forced stimulus check in here. I would love to bring you that news, but I also like to bring you realistic news here. Okay. So I personally am optimistic about it. I personally see that as economic conditions are getting worse and as the virus are getting worse, we're actually seeing all them do all this emergency kind of like stimulus provisions. I mean, 40 million people just got 25% permanent raise to SNAP food assistance. Um, 40 million people just got helped out with their student loan payment and interest. And 10 to 15 million people just got helped out by not being evicted. And we're probably going to see more of that type of stuff. We could see more eviction protection later on after the 60 days. We could see more student loan payment pauses. We could see more SNAP increases. We could see, in the next stimulus package, we could see more temporary increases on top of that permanent raise. We could see the pandemic increases on top of that. We could see stimulus checks on top of that. We could see the adult tax credit on top of that.
There's a lot of things. I mean, well, you just seen that list, right? There's a lot of things that could be included in that, right? And if you're not in part of those three things, we could see a lot more things. We could see mortgage forbearance here done by the administration in the near future. I would not be surprised to see that at all. Remember, last year we actually had more mortgage forbearance for a year, which is basically very, very similar to student loan payment freeze, where basically you don't have to pay your payments for 6 months for student loans. We could see that come back again for mortgage forbearance, which is basically just a payment freeze where you don't get any interest and you don't have to pay your payments. So we could see that come back again for mortgages, which basically is, if it comes back again, it's basically just a payment freeze. You don't have any interest, which is always a good thing. If you don't have any interest and you don't have to make your payments, you can basically just use that money for other things because there's no interest accruing. There's no bad marks or anything like that. It's literally just a win. You could just save the money even because again, or you could just use it towards your mortgage if you wanted to and just save the interest. Okay, it's just really just a win, 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 win. Okay, or you can just put it in a CD and just accrue interest or anything like that. But we are going to probably see other type of emergency type stimulus items like this. I've always been a firm believer. If you've been watching this show for a while, I have always been a firm believer, even when former President Trump was the president, that you could do a stimulus check through an executive order. Why do I say that? Some people have always thought that you can't do that. But former President Trump did it. He did an executive order for stimulus checks for the unemployment checks. Now, he did the stimulus checks only for unemployed people, but basically gave stimulus checks, unemployed checks, or he gave stimulus checks to unemployed people for 6 weeks of $300 per week, $1,800. Now, I don't know if Biden's going to do that. I think that it would be more logical at this point to just include him in the next stimulus package because the next stimulus package is upon us. It's literally right there. It would be more logical to just do it that way, especially because the money is already there for the next stimulus package is $3.5 trillion. But I think we're going to be seeing some more emergency type stimulus programs in the future as well, in addition to this $3.5 trillion stimulus package. So it's really good news. They're trying to help as many people as possible. So even if you're not included in one of those groups of people, number one, be happy for your fellow man. Be happy for our extended family here. Again, I'm not part of one of those three groups of people, but I'm happy for all of our extended family here that is getting the help they need during this time of need. And number two, I'm happy that they're helping people in need during this once in 100-year pandemic. And I'm happy that they're making the moves they need to do to help people in need. And I'm happy that we're going to be seeing more of this with this next stimulus package. So, yeah. Make sure to subscribe down below. Remember, new videos come out every day, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss any videos at this point because they're literally in emergency crisis mode trying to they passed three major stimulus items without even Congress. So anything can happen at this point. And we have the largest stimulus package ever, like in the voting process in the Senate. So yeah, I'll keep you up to date on everything. Share this video with your friends and family, especially if they're on the SNAP program, by all means. If they get child tax credits, you better share with them also because there's millions of people that haven't got the last child tax credits. I have recent videos on that as well. And I'll keep you up to date with everything. Child tax credits, SNAP program, the next stimulus package, what's going on with our country, and everything. Yeah. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is about the child tax credits, about how millions of people are behind or haven't gotten their payments recently. If you get the child tax credits, you should click on this video and watch that next. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.